Right now on Up with KREM, chaos erupted during last night's Spokane Public Schools Board meeting.
With that being said, this is now over.
Why the meeting had to end and the decisions the board made when the meeting got back underway safely.
And an in-person Hoopfest is officially off the table. The executive director joining us live on the show to talk about the decision and how this event compares to some of the other larger events in the area and why some of those events are still able to happen while others are forced to cancel.
And as the sun comes up, we got a little bit of cloud cover, a little bit of smoke in the sky. We'll talk what you can expect throughout the day and then give you a sneak peek of the weekend.
Up with KREM begins now.
Well, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Channing Curtis. Now let's get to our big story of the day because a lot of people are talking about this one, especially on social media, because for the second year in a row, Hoopfest has been canceled.
Yeah, the reason, of course, the growing COVID cases and hospitalizations across the inland Northwest. And this morning we are joined by the executive director of Hoopfest, Matt Santangelo.
Good morning, Matt. How are you? Thank you for joining us this morning on Up with KREM.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me on.
Yes. So can you tell us more about the decision to cancel Hoopfest this year?
I can tell you it was really, really hard. I know that. And it was really, really sudden. You know, as I speak now, about 48 hours ago, we were full bore planning for the event in September. And then literally yesterday morning, with continued talks with our local healthcare community, our great partner in Multicare, the regional health district, it was just determined that we couldn't move forward. And so it kind of hit us like a heavy weight as well, just like it did when we announced it publicly.
So Matt, walk us through some of the decision-making process, because a lot of people, and I know myself included, we had a lot of hope because it's an outdoor event. What were some of the reasons why, even though it is an outdoor event, still maybe not the best idea to go on with the event?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to hospitalization. Honestly, I think, our hospitals currently here in Spokane and in the region are completely overwhelmed. They're full, they're at capacity. Those healthcare workers are doing the best to keep everyone healthy and safe. And really it was determined that, by bringing that many people together in what is effectively an uncontrolled environment in downtown Spokane, we don't have a single entry point. It's really difficult to confirm vaccinations or have negative testing, really difficult to enforce masking and social distancing in a Hoopfest style environment. And ultimately it was decided that any additional strain on our local healthcare community was just too much. And then that effectively made Hoopfest unsafe this year, which is what drove the ultimate decision.
Now, a lot of questions that we're seeing on social media right now regard the refund process. So can you explain what will the refund process be like?
Yeah, so we'll send an email out today to all team captains. So heads up for team captains if you registered a team to be on the lookout for an email. We're giving teams right now two choices. One is to donate 100% to us, the small business, the nonprofit behind this really large world-class event, or requesting a partial refund. And this is where the noise is really getting loud, is that partial refund is only a 20% refund of your fees. So why is that important for us is because we have already incurred a ton of expense, all the apparel, the merchandise, all the planning that goes into this event. We've had to write checks for in preparation for the event, expecting to hold the event in September. And if we held the event, hey, everything's fine, everyone's happy, everyone gets their money's worth. But now we're in a really, really tough spot financially because we've had to incur those expenses. And without the help of our team, that team registration, it really puts the organization in a tough spot to even survive to 2022. And so we know we hear you, like we hear the frustration. We're definitely listening. We're paying attention. We're going to do what we can to potentially modify that. But as it stands now, that is our refund policy. So really encourage people, again, team captains, to be on the lookout for that email and respond right away with what your intention is for that registration fee, so we have a better idea of exactly the lay of the land, the current lay of the land after yesterday's announcement.
Well, Matt, we appreciate your transparency on that. Yeah, a lot of people talking about it. But, one thing that really caught my attention yesterday was, Matt, what you said in your statement, just how difficult it was to make this decision. Just talk about the tradition of what you're hearing from people and just what this Hoopfest means to the Spokane area.
Well, I have to say, if you're on social media and you kind of see this frustration around the refund policy, like the amount of love and understanding and empathy that I know I personally received yesterday was tremendously overwhelming. People love Hoopfest. Like even the people that are frustrated love Hoopfest. They're frustrated by that decision. We're trying to make it understandable so they have a better understanding for it. But at the heart of the whole thing is Hoopfest. And so I think that is something we all have to remember of what this event does. And now this is 2 years that we haven't been able to run this physical event. And it hurts. Like, it's kind of, obviously it's our mission as an organization. I wear it personally very heavily because I believe in what it does. I believe in what basketball does for our community. And we need that reconnection. We wanted to create that engagement, that opportunity for people to come together. That's why we pushed it to September. I mean, the great irony is we postponed it long into the year with the hopes that this would all be behind us. And the irony is that we've actually seen this spike in recent weeks that's prohibiting us from having the event. So it's tough. I don't know how to explain it. My heart is heavy because we love it so much and we want to do this for the community. We want to do it for the athletes, for the volunteers, for our sponsors, for the downtown businesses that benefit from it. Those are all our motivating factors, and it hurts me not to be able to execute the event.
Yeah, we know you put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in this for sure, Matt. Really quickly, we're running out of time, but I want to ask you, what is next? Obviously, we don't know where the pandemic will take us, but what's next for Hoopfest?
Yeah, so we'll go through this kind of the financial situation of what we are. It's going to take a few weeks. I mean, we're not going to be able to do that overnight. We got to see where sponsors stand with us. Certainly work through this refund and team registration. We have Spokane AAU, our youth basketball program. Registration is open for indoor basketball in the fall and winter. So really trying to work on that. That's our normal programming. And then ultimately, because we're in August now, next June's going to come really quickly. And so, by next March, we're going to be spinning up Hoopfest 2022 with the hopes that it finally sees us hit the streets again. And so there's a lot of work to be done between now and then. And so the great quote, basketball never stops. Well, we live that day in, day out. Basketball never really stops at the Hoopfest office.
That's right.
Yeah, well, thank you, Matt, so much for joining us this morning here on Up with KREM. Again, we know this was an incredibly tough decision, so we really appreciate your time this morning and kind of coming on and clarifying some things for us.
Yep, thank you for having me on.
Absolutely.
Well, Hoopfest, not the only event that's been canceled recently. Others are also making that tough decision as well.
That's right. Nicole Hernandez joins us now to talk about the events that are being canceled, as well as the regulations that some are putting in place to keep things going. Good morning, Nicole.
Yeah, good morning. So this Hoopfest cancellation, it came just about a week after event organizers also canceled Pig Out in the Park. So both organizers of both the events say that they really have the same reason for canceling, the main reason being the rising number of COVID-19 cases in our area. So Pig Out in the Park organizers said that their event faced many challenges when trying to protect against COVID-19, like the venue, uncontrolled free entry, and a lot of people over 6 days were all challenges. Just like the spectators at Hoopfest. Other large events were able to make changes to their events, like concerts and big sports games that can regulate who gets in. Last week, Live Nation changed the regulations of their concerts. Everyone who attends there has to be vaccinated or have a negative COVID-19 test. And obviously, that's a policy that would be very difficult to near impossible for Hoopfest and Pig Out in the Park to implement. Live in Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Now, of course, these cancellations will have huge impacts all over our area. So this morning, we'll be joined by Visit Spokane, to talk about the economic impact on the community.
So if you have a question you want us to ask, you can text us at 509-448-2000, and we'll be sure to ask on air this morning at 8 o'clock coming up here on the CW22. All right, let's get outside now to meteorologist Jeremy Legoo, who's tracking a really, really nice weekend.
Yes.
We're already thinking towards the weekend.
Oh, it's Friday Eve. That's what this day is all about. We got a little bit of an atmospheric haze in the low levels here, but you can see some blue on the top of your screen. Expect more clouds. Expect things to get worse and better. And yeah, you get a bit of everything today. 54 degrees right now here in Spokane, 55 in Coeur d'Alene, and 45 in Sandpoint. Oh, it's nice and warm over in Wenatchee at 64 degrees this morning. AQI is starting to suffer. We're at 70, still in the moderate range. Still means you can get outside and walk your dog and breathe some decently fresh air. I think the next few hours are our worst hours of the day when it comes to AQI. For now, it's a little bit of cloud cover taking us through. We'll catch a break in that in the middle part of the day. And then later on this afternoon and evening, clouds build back in. And then we'll see the chance of showers spread across the northern reaches of the state and in higher elevations. Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, looks like we kind of miss out on the bulk of the moisture this go round. Maybe an isolated sprinkle is about the extent of it. Wind gusts up near 15 miles per hour today. It's a bit breezy at times, and as we head into the afternoon, temperatures trend a bit cooler. That sun warms us up quick, so we'll be in the 70s by noon, but then as clouds build back in, we cap it in the mid to upper 70s later today.